Welcome back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. And for today's video is, why do Christians cut old people off? So when you become friends with people or get into a romantic relationship with people, it's usually because y'all have something in common. Y'all relate, y'all share the same interests. Well, with family, you're just forced. Like from jump, you don't got no say. Y'all just forced, brought up together. But anyway, when you start changing and maturing in Christ and others don't, that is why you begin to drift apart and no longer associate with them. You're changing everything about yourself, however, they're not. So how will you still relate to them? Because when y'all met, the relation was smoking, parties, drinking, and stuff. And if you no longer share the same interests, you're no longer doing that stuff. If you used to do all that stuff, but they're still doing it, well, now what do you have in common? That was the very reason that y'all became friends or in a relationship to begin with. Because that's something that y'all had in common. But now it's like, what do you have in common? Nothing. You no longer relate to them because your interest in life has changed. The conversations are no longer there because there is no relation. And it's not a personal attack against people, that you decide to cut off and leave behind. But I don't think people understand how personal this journey is for some of us. And no one wants to do anything to jeopardize it. And letting go of people that doesn't align with your relationship with God is something that's detrimental to your walk. And it's so necessary to do. It's not personal, but it has to be done. And it's not because you think you're better than anyone. You don't think you're better than anyone, but it's just no longer anything there. Just like relationships, people grow apart. You'll want to find new people that relate to the new you. And the feelings may be mutual because there's people in the world that think Christians are just annoying. Like they're being too boring. So, sometimes they'll go ahead and cut you off without you even having to do it. And I just take that as, that was the Lord. That's great. That was the Lord removing them. You didn't even have to do it. You didn't have to be in an uncomfortable situation. They removed themselves. And don't go reaching out to them. It happened for a reason. The thing is with this, people that are still in the world and you come to Christ, they're still in darkness and you're now in light. Those two things don't share nothing in common. They're the complete opposite. And in this case, opposites do not attract, baby. The Lord will send you your people. So we just need to be patient and wait for the Lord to send us our people. Some of us be compromising, hanging out with people we ain't got no business hanging out with, being in a relationship we ain't got no business being in because we don't want to be lonely. And we have to start to embrace loneliness and isolation because the Lord will send you the right people. We put unnecessary obstacles in our paths by keeping people around that no longer serves a purpose in our life. They were in our life when we were in the world. That was that part of our life. It's a new chapter. You're no longer in the world. You came to the Lord. You're walking in lightness instead of darkness. So now it's a new chapter. So now there's going to be new people that's going to come into your life. And we must not compromise. Because you'll get yourself in a pickle you didn't have to be in by hanging out with the wrong people. But this is why Christians cut people off when they get closer to God. It's nothing personal. It's just one of those things like, we no longer have anything in common. We don't have any interest. What am I going to talk to you about? Party, drinking, and smoking, although I'm not doing that anymore. You don't want to hear about God because that's not the path that you're on. That's all I want to talk about. I want to talk about God. I want to talk about the Bible. I want to talk about, you know what I mean? And you don't want to hear that. Meanwhile, all you want to talk about is party, drinking, smoking, and drama. I don't want to hear that. So it's like, at this point, it's safe to say that we can just part ways. And people look at it as a bad thing. It's no hard feelings. You can still love the person with all your heart, but we just have to be mature enough to understand that certain things just do not serve a purpose. And no matter how much we love people, we have to let them go sometimes. Relationships, friends, family, whoever it is, like, we're holding on to just love. And you can love people from a distance, but speaking to them is not going to do nothing for you but drain you if you're not on the same page, and sometimes create conflict. And then sometimes people in the world try to drag you back into the world because they just simply do not understand. So it's really dangerous at that to hang out with people that's of the world still because they don't understand. Because let me tell you, my mindset the way it is now was never like this when I was in the world. I always loved and believed in God, but if somebody was trying to come to me and talk about God and I'm trying to party and drink, I'm gonna be looking at you like, what are you doing? So, we just have to come to a common ground and agreement. Like, I love you, but baby girl, it ain't working. Or, boy, we can't. I still love you. We can check on each other every now and then, but we on different paths, and that is okay. Like, We take everything as a negative thing, and I don't feel like it should be. Creating boundaries and, you know, stuff like that is healthy to me. Excuse me. And we got verses for today. The first one is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here. So the old is gone, the new is here. If people only related to the old you, how could they relate to the new you unless they also have been made new? It just don't work, y'all. And then we got 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. See, if you try to force yourself to hang out with people that is not of God, they're still in the world, and you're not in the world, or you're trying to get out of the world, let me tell you, they're gonna corrupt you. And unless you run on people that's standing firm and you're not willing to compromise. But the more you hang out and talk to people like that, you're gonna find yourself indulging in some things you ain't got no business indulging in. If you trying to stop cussing and gossiping, you getting on the phone with certain people, you talk to certain people, you're going to find yourself probably start gossiping and cursing, habits that you thought you left behind. But it's just that bad company corrupts good character. You know? We're human at the end of the day. So that is why you just have to be around who best suits your personality and who has the same interests in you. You have to have things in common with people. Friends, family, loved ones, you know, your partner. It'll never work. You know what I mean? If it's something that you like doing, like, okay, every Saturday I like to go do this, but your partner don't want to do it. Like, how we can work, but we ain't gonna work. You know, it's gonna become a conflict. Like, we have to have some type of entrance, or eventually we gonna start drifting apart. Like, you don't like nothing that I like, so how are we gonna have date nights? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? You know what I mean? It just makes so much sense to me. We got Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. And I'm not saying that these people are wicked or even bad company. It's just, in some people's cases, it is. But, you know how people say birds of a feather flock together. You know, you are who you hang around, stuff like that. I used to didn't think that was true, but it is, because you as a woman of God have no business hanging out with anybody of this world. I'm sorry. What are you going to do? They not trying to go to church. You're not trying to go to the club. So it's either y'all going to have to break it off, or somebody about to compromise. Somebody going to bend, fold, or break. And it's going to be harder to get somebody to go to church than it is to get an old club or to get back into that club, baby. I tell you that. So it's about protecting your spirit, protecting your peace, your relationship with the Lord, your self-respect, your morals, and what you stand on. But that is why, you know, it's nothing personal when people cut you off because they started following Christ. It's nothing personal against you. It just has to be done in this walk. And once you start following Christ, you'll see and understand why. They don't think they're better than you. They didn't forget where they came from. They have changed. And this happens for people that doesn't follow Christ. When people just change, their mindset change, you realize, I was a kid when I met you. We have nothing in common anymore. You know, my mind matured. I don't have that same thought process. I don't have that same interest. Like, and that is okay. And we have to learn to be okay with that. And stop taking stuff so personal. But that is all that I have for today, y'all. If this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.